B-double-E-double-R-U-N, beer run. B-double-E-double-R-U-N, beer run. All we need is a 10 and a 5 or a car and a key and a sober driver. B-double-E-double-R-U-N, beer run.
And welcome to the Beer Run, part of the BS and Beer Network, the only Saints podcast with a 2-drink minimum and takes as bad as Brian Kelly coaching a season opener.
That's a joke, boy. You missed it. Went right past you. I say you gotta keep on your toes. Put toes at it.
That hits a little close to home. I was there. All right, I get to make these now. I get to do that. I am the California Cajun. With me, as always, is Little Dice. How you doing, brother?
I'm hurting, Craig. I'm hurting. And you come with the damn joke, Craig. All right.
You're hurt. Man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I know you were there, so you had to actually deal with people pointing their fingers at you and all this kind of stuff. So
typically the middle ones, it seems. No, honestly, though, everybody was very classy. You know, USC fans were more tolerable than usual. It was fun. It was a great time, man. It was a great game. It was cool being out in Vegas for it. It was an event. You know, everybody was hyped about it. Like I've been saying, everything but the final score was great. So, unfortunately, that final score is a result of Brian Kelly being an overrated hack, and I hate him for it.
Well, listen, we will be talking more LSU on the SEC Pub.
Right.
This will be out on Wednesday, so be sure you guys check out the SEC Pub, and we'll be talking college football there. So it is week 1, and you know we're feeling okay about everything, and you know, we got to talk with some Carolina fans. You know, we've got to get things back to the way they were on a Beer Run, because the season has started, Craig. It's going to be a good year. Let's have a good season, Craig. How about that?
And have fun with it. You know, only 2 things can happen. We're either going to make the playoffs or we get to fire Dennis Allen. Either of these things are great, and I'm in for it, man. This is a win-win scenario, as we say.
Yeah. That's it, man. So, all right, let's get the referees out here. Spot the ball. Let's get this thing going.
First down, Saints.
All right, Craig, what you drinking, bro?
All right, I saved these since my trip in June. I brought these back from Hawaii. This is Maui Brewing Company, the double overhead, double IPA. The can says it. I don't have to make anything up. The can says it itself. Rich, slightly malty body. It supports this generously hopped Imperial Indian Pale Ale. It is darn good. It's 8.5% alcohol. Looks good, smells good, tastes good, makes you feel good. But does it sound any good? Like music. Like music, this is. Oh, it's delicious.
There you go, Craig.
All the trouble to bring these back from Hawaii, get them in my suitcase, pay the extra money because my suitcase was too heavy. Found out they sell them here in Los Angeles. I could have just bought some.
Oh!
But I now have it, and now I'm happy about it. So, cheers. What are you drinking?
Great. That's great, man. That's great. Yeah, we are still just doing a shot of whiskey on the Beer Run. That's all we're doing today. I'm hurting still, and the whiskey's gonna make it feel better. How about that?
Well, I just figured that with the amount of drinking last night, that if I just sobered up cold turkey, I would die. Just the catch-up hangover all at once would end my life in this mortal coil. So I'm still pretty much game drunk, and I think that's the important part to remember from all this. So important part of our season, new update to the Beer Run, is the inclusion of weekly beer bets, hashtag. And my first off-season beer bet that we made was that Mendray Killer was going to have 1,000 yards rushing. That's right. Kendre Miller, the second-year player, is going to be a 1,000-yard rusher. Made before he missed all of the preseason and is now on IR. So in the spirit of the beer bets, Dale, you were right and I was wrong. Cheers.
You, my goodness, Craig. No one chugs a beer like you, bro. I'll tell you that. I cannot compete with that.
Well, the next bet so that you can do it.
My chugs will be a lot slower. Okay.
People
This
like
what we do.
makes for good.
Yes. But I don't know what you were thinking about when you made this bet, Craig. Because I said it from the beginning. Like, there's no way this is happening.
My problem is I listen to Nick Underhill and he's a liar and he hates me. And because he's a liar and he hates me, he fills me with these false hopes, you see. And these false hopes have come to make me chug a lukewarm Modelo in my garage on a Monday afternoon. Hey, that's how it goes.
You know what? You brought up Modelo. All right, so kind of going back to the Las Vegas thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
On the TV screen, bro, it was the guy in the Modelo commercial, the new Modelo man. He's uses binoculars. He's looking for fans who are good fans, and he's gonna give you a Modelo because you're a good fan. I was like, hey, Craig's got to get a beer here.
And drank like 8 Modelos on the way to the field, so that checks out. If I did see him, I would have seen about 3 of them.
Yeah,
it's just aim for the one in the middle kind of situation. That I'm telling you, that if you've never been, that is a gorgeous stadium. It was a great experience, and also fuck Brian Kelly,
the big Roomba.
Mm.
That's exactly what it looks like, bro. Big Roomba.
100%. Absolutely. Las Vegas is awesome.
Second down.
Woo. Let's talk about some news.
So much news, too.
Yeah, we got a little bit of news here. So let's start off with Michael Thomas suspended 1 game due to a 2023 incident. Like I guess it was a domestic incident or whatever. So he's suspended 1 game. So maybe that's why no one brought him in for workout, and maybe the Saints are gonna bring him in week 2. What do you think, Craig?
It's just like, so the NFL waited until preseason was over and roster cuts happened, and it was clear he didn't have a job, and then they kicked him while he was down. Fuck the NFL. Yeah. It's just petty. That's a Roger Goodell special. Like, oh, you ain't on a team at all. Nobody wants you. Okay, also, you're suspended. Yeah, fuck you, bitch. That is still I'm still not happy about him just being out there bitter, man. I want him back in the building. I know it's never gonna happen, but I love me some Michael Thomas. I know he's not good anymore. I don't care. I hang out with you. We're not any good at this, and we keep doing it. Get him in.
There you go. It's true. All right. The Saints have hired Randy Mueller to a position in the front office. Now, this is someone who was the former Saints GM, Mickey Loomis worked under him, right? And so I'm Mickey Loomis returning the favor here, giving him a job. But Randy Mueller has helped out the Saints during the draft. So I'm guessing they just found a full-time role for him, and that's what he's going to be doing now. Who knows what this really entails? How did you feel about him as a GM back in the day, Craig?
I didn't feel a thing. What didn't matter to me, because back in the day when he was GM, I think I was like 12. When was he GM? It was pre Breeze and Peyton, right?
Yeah, it was during the Hazlitt era, like the early Hazlitt era, pretty much.
The Hazlitt era, and I wasn't yet to the point of micromanaging the front office. I was still in the look, Aaron Brooks can throw the ball really far. So look, I mean, that was probably the first era, post Dome Patrol that the Saints were relevant. So, sure, cool, man. Bring him in. Who cares? I don't care. That's enough. Mickey Loomis is in charge. Dennis Allen's the head coach. Derek Carr is the quarterback. All of the important things that affected this team are still here. I don't care about Randy Mueller. And if you do, put it in the comments and tell me how I'm wrong, because I like to hear that.
Yeah, I remember back in the day, Randy Mueller was the GM that I thought started the turn for the Saints. And when he got fired unexpectedly, I was pretty upset about it because I thought, we were making progress. And then Benson just came in and fired the guy. Now, I don't know the story behind it, but there is more of a story behind that. With the reason he got fired by Benson, I think he pissed Benson off some kind of way. And Benson had his head. So yeah, I do like the idea of them bringing him back in, especially since he did help out with the draft and everything, and especially since we were hearing so much, I don't know, rumors and stuff about Ireland moving on. Like, we need more people, smart people in the room. That way, if somebody leaves, somebody can take the other place. That's just my thought about that. So
it's wild because Ireland was nailing these drafts, just the 2017 draft, 2018 to a lesser extent. He was getting all these good players in here and be like, oh, he's gone for sure. He's gonna go be a GM or something somewhere.
Right.
He's there's no way we can keep this guy in the building. And then he's been self-sabotaging with every draft since then, and lowering the price tag, and he's still here because of it.
Yep, that's pretty much sums it up.
Or it's pennings before you no longer are a hot commodity, apparently.
Yeah, that's it. All right. In more Saints news, Kendra Miller starts the season on IR. He's going to miss the first 4 games. This, for me was expected because something's always wrong with the kid. Like, this is just what he is. So, and this is why he's part of the bus commercials. So
I'm worried that it's between the ears. Oh, he's hurt and it's physical. Yeah, it's a physical injury, but it's a calf strain that he's going to be out for 2 months with now. And it's not going to be 4 weeks because he can't practice with the team when he's on IR, which means that he can't learn the system and, operate in the entire new offense that we have. So we're talking about halfway through the year before he's even on the field. Like this, man, I had so much hope for this guy. He was going to be the heir apparent. He had first, do it all. He was a great runner. He is objectively a better player than the other guys that are going to fill that role. But he can't get on the field. He can't get out there. And I don't know if it's mental, if it's, I'm a little banged up. So I'm going to sit this one out. This is football, man. Wrap that shit up. We have guys playing. We got Ronnie Lott's cutting off fingers and shit. This is a real man's game.
Man, this guy, he didn't even practice the full day, the first day. This is where he got injured. It was just individual drills, and he's been out ever since. This has been since we were in California, bro. Like, it's been a long time, bro. And DA's been pissed about him. So
I think it's DA is calling guys out now about it.
Well, yeah. I applaud DA for it because it needs to be done. It honestly needs to be done.
Because there's a fire under him right now. If DA, I think if he wins 8-9 games, he's probably keeping his job. If he makes the playoffs, he's getting extended. But if they fall off a cliff and they win 4 or 5 games, he's out of a job. He's not getting another head coaching job. Do this twice, fail spectacularly both times, and get another try. This is not American politics. Eventually, people stop hiring you.
That's right. All right, the Saints traded for John Ridgway. He's a defensive tackle. We traded with the Washington Commanders for him. We gave up 6th and 7th for him. He does have a great highlight where he's like bulldozing his way into the backfield, and I am in love with that.
That's where he up in the pile drives the guy. That's it's cool.
Yeah.
He's nasty, and we're not asking a lot of him. He's a rotational guy, and with Bink hurt, what's his name? What's Bink Package's name?
Saunders.
There he is. Saunders is hurt, and apparently Nick Underhill hates him. And every time Nick Underhill hates somebody, they get cut 5 minutes later because he's a skeezy son of a bitch. So yeah, I think it's a good pickup. I think it's a good move. You're not paying a lot for it. If you draft 2 D tackles in the 6th and 7th, and one of them happens to be a good rotational guy, then those are good picks. And you basically just did that. You just traded those for this guy. He's not old, you know. He's got some tread on the tires. He could play. He could have a better role in this defense than his last one. So I like it. It's good. I mean, it's not going to change anything really. It's just it's good to have good players.
Yeah. Speaking of good players, Rashid Shaheed, Marshawn Lattimore, and Alvin Kamara all back at practice.
Magically so. Oh, the pixie dust was sprinkled. There's a real game coming up, and everyone feels great. My hamstring feels much better. Oh, my knee feels better. I'm going to go play real football games and earn my game checks now. Wow. My. None of these Marshawn Lattimore ain't fucking hurt. Marshawn Lattimore don't want to practice in the preseason. Get the fuck out of here, Marshawn Lattimore. I'm so tired of this. I'm such a superstar that I don't got to put in the work. This Allen Iverson bullshit. How many rings does Allen Iverson have? You see what I'm saying? I hate that shit. Put in the work.
Yeah. I'm tired of the whole story of, oh, I'm ready. Oh, hurt. Oh, unhappy. Oh, I'm back. Oh, unhappy. I don't want to relive this again.
If Taylor or McKinstry come through and you can lock up a Debo, man, I don't see the appeal of, is Lattimore so much better than the other corners that we are a worse team without him and plus something else, you know what I mean? With the way he demands the salary and everything attached to it, are we a better team with slightly worse corner play but an extra draft pick or an extra $10 million a year? Like, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of injury prone players. The Michael Thomas Lattimore stuff, the two of them, I'm just so burned out on waiting to see if my favorite players can play this week. Fuck yourself. Get on the goddamn.
Third down for what?
All right, joining us here on Third Down, we've got Carolina Dad from Two Growls, One Roar. Yes, he is a Panthers fan. Please give him a very warm welcome. How you doing today, man?
Doing well, man. I love the booze. Would not have it any other way. So I appreciate
That's right. That's right. We can't contain our studio audience. You know, they do what they do. So, all right. So you're here to talk about the Carolina Panthers. After the season they got rid of their coach. They hired David Canales as a new coach. He is, I guess, known as the quarterback whisperer, that sort of thing. And with the season Bryce Young is coming off of, this to me seems like the perfect hire. How do you feel about David Canales overall?
So yeah, I'm with you, man. Quarterback whisper. That's what fans in the Carolinas are hoping, that he can whisper some magic into Bryce Young's ear and the offensive line, because that also was a major issue last year. I'll be honest though, you know, going back when this whole thing started and we started down the path of a coaching search, he was at the bottom of the list for me. And it was just I mean, there was a lot of other nice names out there. So when he moved along through the process and it felt like it was going to be more real, I was like, oh, okay, need to get up to speed on this guy. And sure enough, that's who the Panthers end up picking. I will tell you, I'm pleased with it. I don't think you could have had a better pick out of the group. I know a lot of folks, at least here, we were high on Ben Johnson and Slowick and even Belichick and Harbaugh, of course, all the big names that were floating out there for a little bit. And I think he's the guy, man. And I feel like a lot of people say that. I think he's the guy as long as Tepper will give him the space to do what he needs to do. And it's not that short leash where, like we've seen, man, over the last few years, when firing coaches mid-season.
Yes.
And
I mean, what do you think about him? Like, is he going to be more hands-off now? He's going to let the football people do their job, or what's going on with that?
That's what it seems like. And honestly, he's been in the shadows, which is a good thing.
That's good.
It's a good thing. It is. I can't tell you how glad we are not to have him like coming out. He still has his antics. Like, I think it was around the draft time. It's hard to remember. It all blurs together. But there's like a local restaurant, Dilworth in Charlotte. They're known for putting up their signs.
Yes.
They told Tepper to stay out of the draft room. And sure enough, he walks in there, takes the guy's hat off. Like,
so good.
This dude just can't stay out. But I will say since then, he's remained in the shadows, which I appreciate. And, you know, I was going and talking to another Panthers fan today, and he felt like that there was going to be a sense of urgency, that Tepper was going to be still involved. But I was like, I don't know, man. It just feels a little bit different. It's hard to give him the benefit of the doubt until we see it. But at least for now, going into the season, I feel much better than we have in years past. So it's a new page.
Well, tell me, what have you seen from Bryce Young and the offense this preseason? I mean, does it look like he's making a step in that second year?
I hope so, man. So it's hard to know what we've seen. So we've relied a lot on what we've heard from the training camp. Because as far as like the preseason games, he's played in the starters on offense, played in one drive. It was the last game against Buffalo, and they had their backups. And they went down, they scored, they looked great, but you kind of have to take a step back and like, okay, it was against the backups. Right. And like, how much are we going to, hold this to thinking that this is going to be the way that as good as they're going to be? But man, we've heard all through camp that he's looked good. I think we just got to see it in the season, man. And I think a lot of that is going to rely on the running game, the playmakers around him, which they've improved, in the offensive line. And man, I know y'all know all about Drew Brees, kind of a smaller quarterback who thrived, won a ton of games, put us through crap here in Carolina. And I think the Panthers kind of took a little bit of the mold of this offseason, going out, adding reinforcements on the interior of the offensive line. They had to spend a ton of money to do it, but it feels like, hey, maybe there's going to be a better pocket, at least interior-wise, for Bryce Young to get the ball out and get it out faster. That's been the talk. 2.7 seconds, so it's good.
Yeah, it's always helpful to that offensive line when quarterback can get the ball out their hands really quick. So it's all sense in the world. Tell me, how is the fan base feeling about the season so far? What have your listeners been saying to you, on the show?
It's hard to get a sentiment. I put out a post a few weeks ago just to say like what to get people's reads on the record, and there was a lot of optimism, but then there's also a lot of people being realistic. I think fans in general are more realistic about expectations, and expectations being 5-6 wins, maybe 7. So a lot of people kind of setting the bar lower than we have in years past. And unfortunately, I think you're seeing I hate to say lack of support, but it really is like we've been down this path with Tepper for 6 years, going on 7. There hasn't been a lot of winning football, a lot of questionable decisions like in the front office and just things that have happened along the way. And you saw it kind of in the offseason program. So we have like Back Together, which was actually held at Clemson University. So you had that, that one was held at Bank of America. Turnout was not great. And then Fan Fest was the one that was held in South Carolina. So trying to keep like 2 states, 1 team. It wasn't great. And so I'm anxious to see when we get into the season. Our home opener, of course, we play all away, is the Chargers in week 2. And I'm curious, like, what are we going to have that place packed out, or are we going to carry over from last year? With, go back to the Atlanta Falcons rain game, and it was like 10,000 people there, maybe. So
yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, you don't want to just sell tickets to the other fans and that's it.
That's right, man.
That's not how home field works.
Nope. That's it.
All right. Let's talk about your first round pick, Xavier Legette. I mean, how do you feel about him? What do you expect to see in his first year?
So I'm a little bit of a homer only because my wife's family, half of them, they're Gamecock fans. So
Right.
we've seen him the last 2 or 3 years. We were fortunate enough to be at the Texas A&M game where he returned the kick for a touchdown, like opening kickoff. So the playmaking explosiveness is there. I will tell you, since we've gotten into camp and even in OTAs and minicamp, injuries, they keep popping up, and I can only hope that they're being cautious. We've seen a few pop earlier in the year, and then he got into camp and he's been held back so far. He finally got in against Buffalo in the 3rd preseason game, had a pass like perfectly thrown to him and he dropped it. And unfortunately, that was like the only target that he got. For me, I think he's in a little better spot. Like, I like to compare him and Jonathan Mingo, who he was our 2nd round pick last year.
Yes.
Mingo didn't have a great year by a statistical standpoint, but I think he was just kind of thrown into the fire. The nice thing now with Adam Thielen and Jonathan Mingo stepping up and Deontay Johnson, I think you have a chance to ease in Xavier Legette. But the question is, like, he's a 1st round pick. So fans want to see your 1st round pick wide receiver. Yes. They want to see him in the game. And so I think, I don't know if they get him involved early with the kick returns. Like, maybe that's how you kind of ease him in, or jet sweep motion, get him out of the backfield, getting some touches in a little bit different way. I'd like to just see him get involved earlier to build some confidence. It's hard to set expectations for me and thinking, like, what is his season going to look like? Because I don't know. And I hope he stays healthy. He's kind of probably the bigger question mark for me.
Okay. You brought up the offensive line earlier as a part of concern, but I remember the team was pretty excited about getting Robert Hunt at the right guard from Miami. Do you think maybe he can anchor this offensive line and bring you guys to to where you want to go to?
I hope so, man. He was we had to pay the 2 and 15 tax. So I'm sure he got paid more than he would have gotten anywhere else, of course, coming from Miami. I hope so, man. And we've seen kind of bits and spurts. Interior wise, you have him, and then you have Damian Lewis, who we brought over from Seattle.
Yes.
Damian Lewis has missed some time with some personal things, which hopefully it sounds like, I don't know what's happened, but hopefully things are doing okay for him. I think when you look at the interior, and we do like Robert Hunt, I think probably where a lot of fans on our side are thinking is, how's Austin Corbett going to do? So he's our center now. Mm-hmm. He's never played the center position in the NFL.
Oh, okay.
So you've got a guy that's starting out in a new position, and he did not play in the preseason game with Bryce and the Ones. Thankfully for him, he was having a baby, so congrats to him. But yeah, so there were a lot of fans that wanted us to draft a center, and we were in a position to do it a few times. We didn't. Now, there is an undrafted free agent that we brought over that actually made the 53, Andrew Rame. Okay. He looked pretty good.
Yeah.
But I think the interior, like across the board, you've got 3 new pieces there, and then a center that's never played center in the NFL. So it's going to be a trial by fire. We're going to see week 1, man.
Yeah, that's for sure. Trial by fire for sure. Mm-hmm. The running game, you guys invested in Jonathan Brooks, who's starting the season off on IR, so he's gonna miss the first 4 games. How do you feel about the running back room ability to, sustain it until he comes back?
I feel good about Chuba Hubbard. So I think Chuba Hubbard had a little over 900 yards last year, and he actually started as like RB2, then got elevated once Miles Sanders didn't pan out, unfortunately, as the true RB1. So I think if Chuba had gotten a few more of Miles' touches last year, that he probably would have eclipsed 1,000 yards. But it's a good point when you look at the running back room, it's going to be Chuba Hubbard. I've seen Miles again. It was a limited time. he's kind of coming back with a vengeance this year. At least he says. And I don't know if it's going to pan off on the field. I hope it does. But like, there was one practice, and I don't remember. It was in the preseason, like during training camp. He scored or something, and then had some choice words with the entire like beat writer reporter section was like right there, and he said some stuff to him. So he's listening. He's listening to what people say. So like I'm curious. Like the Panthers are pretty much stuck with him right now because of the contract, but I think it's going to be that 1-2 punch. I don't think Raheem Blackshear, who's like our third, is really going to be involved. Like he's a kick returner mostly. So it's going to be those three guys. And we hope that Jonathan Brooks, when he comes back, hopefully that's like week 5, week 6. I don't know how long it's going to take him to ease him back in, but we're hoping that maybe, you get this second round pick, the first running back that was taken in the draft, that he's going to be a game changer. I don't know, man. I'm holding my breath and like hopeful that we run into a problem where maybe we've got a running back battle, but to be determined right now.
Okay. All right, let's switch to defense. You guys are moving to the 3-4 defense with your new coordinator. Evero is his name.
Yeah, Ejiro Evero. So I call him Evero.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So we have the same defensive staff that we had last year. Okay. So yeah, everyone that was here got retained. He did have a few head coaching interviews, and the Panthers wouldn't let him interview for another coordinator. They didn't want to lose him. So,
okay. All right.
Yeah. He even interviewed for the Panthers job and didn't get it. I think my guess is if he looks good this year, he should get a head coaching opportunity. Like officially, I hope so for him. But yeah, man, that defense, we lost a decent amount and we didn't have a lot to begin with Brian Burns leaving, Frankie Louvu, even Itor Gross-Matos, Jeremy Chin, who just wasn't utilized as much as he should have been last year. So we've got some question marks, man, because we signed DJ Wonham from Minnesota, and a lot of people are like, oh, you got him and Clowney, because Clowney's the other big signing. Hey, we're going to be in good shape. And DJ comes out. We hear the news that like he's had a setback in whatever surgery he happened, and then he's put on the PUP list. And so he's missing time. So we were talking about, like, fans were talking about like week 1, who's going to be out there. And they asked Dave Canales today, and they said, we're still trying to figure it out as far as like who's going to be on the other side of Clowney. And
okay,
I think it's going to be DJ Johnson. He was a draft pick from last year. He's not much of a quarterback pressure, like get to the quarterback and sack him type guy, but that is a huge question mark for this team. That and the cornerback room, which is
I was about to say, I thought the cornerback room was the biggest question.
Yep. Cornerbacks are right.
What I can promise, guys, is that your pass rushers, you're going to feel way better about the pass rush going into week 2.
I've seen the highlights, but I was like, I don't know. Is it as bad as it looks?
Your week 1, you're going to feel really good about that pass rush. It might be some fool's gold, but you're going to feel great.
Yes. I've seen the highlights, and I'm like, man, maybe we will feel a little bit better. But cornerbacks, that's what we all know, the health of JC Horn. That's a question every single year.
How has he been so far? And has he made some kind of, I don't know, statement about staying healthy? Maybe he's trying something new.
Yeah. Yoga? So he did say that he like went back to the program, like off-season program that he went through in college. So I don't know if he stayed healthier then, if they're, hopefully that's a good thing. He's kind of been on a pitch count, which is expected, and you really didn't see him a lot in the preseason. Really, I don't know if he played at all. He sat out most of the time. So not seeing him too much, which is, I wouldn't think the Panthers would want to try him out there. But we signed Dane Jackson after we traded Dante Jackson over, we signed Dane Jackson from Buffalo. He was supposed to be the opposite corner. He got hurt in camp. Then we had 2 or 3 other guys that were like Boodle. Oh my gosh, Lamar Jackson. There was a Lamar cornerback and a few other guys that we thought maybe like one of those guys would step up. And then we get into this and we trade away our 7th round pick to Seattle for Mike Jackson. And it sounds like Mike's probably going to be the starter right now. And then we claimed three guys off of waivers, like after cuts. No, but man, I tell you, we're running up the Jackson over here. I was like, we're getting close to the Jackson 5.
No, Jackson. Yes.
Yes. It's like if the last name's Jackson, we're gonna bring you, we're gonna sign you. That and DJ is like, I don't know what this team.
The GM has his filter turned on from when he looked up a guy named Jackson. He just thinks every free agent is named Jackson.
Yes. He's like, all right, that's on my list. Yep. Let's pull that one. Let's pull him in. That's it.
Yeah, man. Okay. So that cornerback position still kind of iffy and stuff. Josie Jewell, I didn't hear you mention him at the linebacker position. I know he's a free agent you guys got from Denver. Has the defense coordinator been deploying him to where he's getting some kind of pressure and stuff like that to help out the pass rush? Or what? Yeah,
we haven't seen much from him. He's been great in camp, but I think comparing, like in our minds, we compare him to Frankie Louvu. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to see that type of play from him. He's a different style linebacker. So I don't know that we'll have the same pressures or sacks because Louvu could kind of move around, almost play on the outside if he needed to. But he's been good, and he played in Evero's scheme in Denver. He gets a bunch of tackles, which good. Take that all day. But yeah, man, the defense there, and opposite of him is Shaq Thompson, who's coming off an injury. So
yeah,
hoping that Shaq is able to stay healthy this year. But see, man.
Yeah, man. Okay, so let's get some predictions from you.
All right.
First prediction I want is who wins the NFC South.
Oh, NFC South.
Yes.
There is a wrong answer.
Yeah. So I teetered on this, and I know the hot pick, and I just did mine, was Atlanta, but I'm going to roll with Tampa. And I think it's not that I don't think Atlanta's going to be good. I kind of think that Tampa, with their experience with bowls, and they'll probably prove me wrong, but I put Tampa at the top of the list right now for me.
I was wrong. There are 2 wrong answers.
There you go. Right? You're like, it's got to be the Saints, right?
I would have even taken the Panthers, but he's a homer. It's cool. Nope.
Yeah. I got to go outside the box.
All right. And now for the big prediction. Who wins this game? You got a score or anything like that? We love to have.
Oh, man. It's tough. I've been back and forth on this. I think playing in New Orleans, and I always want to call it the Mercedes-Benz Dome, even though it's like Caesar's Dome. That's a tough place to play, man. Week 1, I want to pick the Panthers to win this game. I think there's some positives that we've seen from Bryce Young. Oh God, it's going to be tough, I think, for the Panthers. But I think, like y'all have talked a little bit about, well, kind of with the pass rush, maybe the Panthers can get some things going there. Oh God, I'm gonna take the Panthers in this, and y'all can boo. I'll take Panthers.
The line is actually Saints -4 right now.
Saints -4. Okay, well, I was gonna say Panthers 24, Saints 20, and then I'll eat crow. So that'll be it.
I got chicken at the store, so it's much better.
I'll go for some chicken.
Wouldn't recommend.
That's right.
Okay. Well, that is Carolina Dad from 2 Growls, 1 Roar. You want to tell the people where they can find you on YouTube and on Twitter?
yeah, man, just search for Two Growls, One Roar. It'll pop up, and appreciate it. Appreciate y'all for having me on, man. It's fantastic to talk to Saints fans, fanatics, to be involved. And yeah, man, wish y'all good luck this year. So should be fun.
Now I feel bad. He's nicer than we are.
That's right.
All right. We appreciate you joining the show.
Got it. Thank y'all. See ya.
All right.
They're going to go for it here on 4th down.
Let's talk about not only the game, upcoming game versus the Panthers, but I guess you probably want to reference our guest on 3rd down first.
Before we do anything else, I want to make it very clear. That guy has no idea what he's talking about. He's crazy. Everything he said was wrong. Everything is stupid. I didn't even know that people could be as dumb or as wrong as that guy was, but he was both of those things. And you should feel bad for that guy, because I feel worse for having listened to that nonsense. To heck with that fellow, sir.
That's right. That's right. So the Saints are actually a 4-point favorite in this game versus the Panthers. But yeah, we've got to make some predictions. We've got to make a beer bet, Craig. Let's look at some props here. How do you think the game is going to unfold from the Carolina offense standpoint? Do you think the Saints just totally shut them down? You think Bryce Young does what he does and comes back to Bama Bryce Young?
Bama Bryce Young. Yeah, well. You mean he's going to have players around him that are better than everyone else, and that's why he looked good at Alabama? Right? No, look, man, much like my bets I placed in Vegas yesterday, I'm betting the under, because this is going to be a sloppy slugfest of a game. I don't think either of these teams are looking especially great. Both of them are going to be defense first. Saints offense, we have no idea what it's going to be like, if it's going to work, if it's not going to work. The Panthers offense is supposedly a lot better. They spent a lot of money on their offensive line. Should be better. Will it be? I don't know. Saints defenses, they usually end the seasons better than they start the season, so maybe it won't be as sharp. There's just so many question marks that it's like we're playing ourselves. You know, the Panthers are like a younger discount version of the Saints, in that their offense is probably not going to be great. Their defense is probably going to be pretty good, and see where the chips land, for another Vegas reference while I'm here. So if I'm betting on this game, I'm betting unders. I'm betting under passing yards. I'm betting under rushing yards. Okay. Maybe the new look Saints offense can run the ball a little bit better. You know, we weren't getting good at it last year, but you know, that should help. It's tough, man. It's tough. How do you feel about it? What
about this prop here, Craig? The Saints have problems with quarterbacks that can run. Bryce Young's got mobility to him. Right now, the over-under on his rushing is 10.5 yards. What do you want?
Oh, I'd smash that over. That's only one scramble. That's one. If he down one time, I would hit that over with a baseball bat. What are you talking about?
Okay, we agree with that. Let's see. Let's go with passing yards. Let's see, Bryce Young, 200.5 yards.
200.5?
Yes.
Oof. That's tough. Because I think it's going to be about 200 yards passing. That's a good line. I would that, but not a lot over. You know, because I would say he's probably going to throw for 210 and a touchdown. You know, like it's not going to be a big explosive, you know, performance, but. You know, I mean, we got old players everywhere, and Marshawn Lattimore may or may not play, so they're probably, you know, gonna throw the ball a little bit. You know, they got a couple of guys. Adam Thielen is still there.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, they have another wide receiver. They don't have Terrence Marshall anymore. He's available.
No, he's actually on the practice squad of the 49ers.
Oh, the Niners. Ah, well, fuck that guy.
Mm-hmm. What about AK? 53.5 rushing yards over under.
You know what? If the legend of Mendre Killer was still alive and well, I would hit the under on that, because I think they're going to use AK a lot more creatively. It's going to be a lot of, you know, screens and catching the ball out of the backfield, stuff like that. But I think he's getting that over. They're gonna have to run the ball, and when their options are Jordan Mims and Jamal Williams, and 2024 Jamal Williams, not the one that was good in Detroit. They're gonna end up force feeding Kamara late in the game. It's gonna be that same old bullshit that almost ran him off into the ground a couple of years ago. So I would hit the over for that, but that don't mean it's gonna be a lot per carry. It just means he's gonna get a lot of carries.
Okay. What about Derek Carr? Passing yards over 229.5 yards.
Okay. You will not find a podcast with a more pro Derek Carr person than this podcast with me. I go to bat for this guy every freaking week, and it's under. He is going to have a horrible game because our offensive line is terrible, and it is going to get so loud. The buzzing on Saints Twitter for Spencer Rattler will be deafening, and it'll be stupid because Spencer Rattler can't magic up a better offensive line. So it's going to be wrong, but also, he's going to look bad. He's going to get rattled from pressure. He's going to probably throw a pick, and people are going to be really mad about it. And they're going to go to Twitter, and it's really long fucking.
Okay, so it sounds like we pretty much agree that the Saints offense is going to take a while to kind of crank it up.
It took time last year. So good at the end.
Yes.
I think a very similar thing is going to happen this year. It's going to take a minute, but this offense could be good. It just ain't going to be week one.
All right, so we got to find something to disagree on here.
Well, I think I was disagreeing on that.
Wait, what?
Oh, nothing. No, go on.
Oh man! All right. Shoot. Let's see.
Okay, I have this for you. Do you have the Saints winning and or covering? But this might be our bet.
No cover. 4 points too much for me.
Okay, all right. That might be our bet then, but we'll have to get to that. Do you want to do predictions?
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. I think it's going to be. All right, so total is 41.5.
Mm-hmm.
So I will say Saints 17, Carolina 16.
Woo! Ooh, nail biter looks the same in the win column though. I would take that.
Yes.
Yes. All right, so here's gonna be our disagreement. We can make our hashtag beer bet on. Is I think that we kick the crap out of them, 100-0. Complete blowout from the jump. Every time we touch the ball, it's a touchdown. Every time they touch the ball, it's a fumble. It's going to be embarrassing, and they're going to wish they were never born. And then I'm going to wake up, and I'm going to watch the Saints win 19-10.
Okay.
Player of the game is going to be Blake Groupie because he's going to stroke, I think, 4 field goals is what I just counted in my head.
Okay. All right, so you said 19-10. I've got 17-16 Saints.
So with the way the spread works, that means that you win if the Panthers win or if they don't lose by 4. Right? We got this. I'm very drunk, guys.
No, I guess we're going based off who's closest score, I guess, huh?
Yeah, sure.
You pick 19-10 Saints. I pick 17-16 Saints.
Okay. So all right, we'll figure this out. Whoever one is closest, one of us is going to chug a beer on this show next week.
Yeah. Exactly.
And depending on how the game goes, might chug a few before the show. Let's see how this.
Exactly, Craig. Exactly. So, listen, I hope Dennis Allen really has this mobile quarterback thing solved, and we're gonna get after this guy and take care of business on the defensive end. Let's go, Dennis Allen. Dennis Allen's cocky about his defense. He knows something.
Sassy motherfucker. He's like every divorced single mom that is like totally sure that she's the hottest fucking thing ever. It's like, oh, well, you haven't seen our defense yet. Like, Bro, we've been watching the same defense for a decade now. We get it. We know what it's going to be. All you players got older. Shut the fuck up. All right. So what do we have left today? We have the season prediction then, yeah?
Yeah. Let's do some season predictions. I'm going to say my win total is 9 wins.
Okay.
However,
Mystic for you.
I believe 9 wins wins the NFC South.
You think we are a 9-win team and the NFC South champion?
That's right.
Wow.
That's right.
The hell are you and where is Dale? I like you better. Never leave.
That's right.
Dale. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. You know what? You're basically right there with me, man. I think that we win 10 games. I think one of your losses swings the other way. And I think that we win the NFC South. I think that the Falcons have a lot of really nice, shiny pieces and not a lot of cohesion in coaching. And I think that they're gonna disappoint a lot of people. Buccaneers obviously took a step back. It's clear to everybody. They spent money on aging players and Baker Mayfield, guys. Baker Mayfield, who had one good year with an offensive coordinator who is no longer there. Bucks are gone. Bucks are done. I don't think the Panthers are there yet. And when I say there yet, I mean ever, because they suck and they will always suck. I hope that you're listening to this 2 Growls, 1 Roar podcast, whatever your name is, because you suck.
There you go. There you go. That's going to wrap it up for us here on the Beer Run.
Man, the season is almost here. How exciting is this? Who dat, baby? For the whole BS and Beer team, for my co-host Lil Dice, I am the California Cajun. Have a beer. It's on us.
Who dat?
Remember to follow us on social media at BS and Beer Media. Also, smash the like button on YouTube and share with friends.